Keep rolling.
We're going to talk a little bit about top bar hives and how they are similar and different from Langstroth. Most of the principles, particularly overarching principles, will be the same. The first thing you'll discover is that when you take the top off of a properly maintained top bar hive, it's no big deal because it should be solid. Okay? No bees should be able to get out. One of the problems with this hive is that it has a feeder here that has holes on the sides. That may be part of what led to its demise. The bars, of course, we give them this. These are very nice bars. They have a nice shape. They're composite made though. They're made of several pieces, which is cool. And then what the bees do, they make this. Okay. The side angle is the thing that keeps them thinking it's close enough to being the bottom that they don't attach it there very much. But they will attach to the side somewhat. You can see right here where they did. And so it's one of the things you have to pay attention to. Also, if you have a hive full of bees, don't do what I just did. Say, oh, I want to look at the brood nest. It's right here. You'll pull it out and possibly roll the queen. Just like with the Langstroth, we want to start near the back. Now, a good top bar hive should always have a follower board in it. If you have a top bar hive full of bars and the bees fill them all up, it's really hard to pull the first bar out. But if you have a follower board, you can basically back it off a little bit and then begin to get at the first bar. Now, one of the things about this hive is that all the stuff that you do with Langstroth, where you put X on top of the frames or something like that, is not going to work because this is solid and this is not near the bees. So putting hop guard strips on it or whatever, no worky. You're going to have to figure out something else. One of the hardest things about top bar is how to adapt to a world that is full of Langstroth, although it's getting better and better from that standpoint. So the same idea is you pry this apart and then you begin to pull these bars out. And this is typical of a hive. You'll find the back bars will probably be empty. And then that will give you space to begin to move these again. Now, when you get to an actual bar that has comb on it, you need to look at the possibility that the comb is attached on the sides. If you look in here, you can see where these combs have been attached, okay? See there, see comb there. On a hot day particularly, if you try to pull that bar out with that comb still attached, you'll pull the bar off the comb. No one will be happy. Okay, so what you need to do is make sure that you've pried this a little bit, not a whole lot, because now you're bending the comb, and then you can do a little jiggle like this. If it moves freely, then you're probably clear, and you can pull it out.
Do you have your tool? Do you have your tool?
I'm gonna.
Okay.
If it is not moving freely, or if you know, because you have a window and you look and you see this, okay, well, we've got brace comb up against the side. There is one special tool for top bar beekeepers, and someone stole mine. Nope, there it is. The really fancy one looks like this. Okay. On top. George says I should actually have stained glass in here. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put a second. This is the one from Backyard Hive, and it's hand drawn and it's expensive. That's what you bought from me. So what you have to do now is stick this down in here with all the bees, ease it in there, and if it's even remotely a warm day, you want to pull up rather than push the comb off. But you basically pull it up alongside this comb and clear those connections to the side. And if you have them on the front, the chances are you have them on the back too. So if you do one side, you really should do both, even if you can't see clearly.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's just like a rule of thumb, kind of?
Yeah, it's a rule of thumb, kind of. You know, if it's the window and you can see it's clear, that's cool. But if you're not sure, if it's covered with bees, do both sides, okay? And then again, your test, see if it's loose enough. You know, a little jiggle back and forth here, rolling your thumbs, will tell you what you need to know. And then you can pull the comb out. Okay. Now, if you are Langstroth trained and you start doing this with your comb, you immediately have a problem because while this is extremely dry and extremely light, if you have even brood on a comb and it's warm, when you do this, the comb will fall off. Yeah, you do not ever want to turn comb like this. If you look at this side, you say, oh, that looks really wonderful. You want to look at the back, you turn this way, and you turn it the long way so that you don't ever put any stress on this way, so you don't have a bending moment on it. So basically, look at it, turn it the long way, going to hold, yep, keeping it parallel to the ground. Okay, and that's something that you just want to make automatic. Anytime you pick, I even do with Langstroth hives, I'll go ahead and pick them up and turn them that way. This is easy. Now, there's a problem with this. If they have nectar and it's very, very, very coarse still, it will start running out and dripping. So this is another thing. Another thing, if you have a top bar hive, you want a stand for your bars, okay? And if, you know, it's a chopped plywood, some lumber, and maybe a 2x2, maybe a couple of 1x2s, whatever. Cut a nice shape. Make it so it will hold about 4 bars, measure them all out. And you can just basically set it on here. You can pull a bar out, set it down, and then keep on going through. Or if you have something you want to do something with, you can basically set it together. But you definitely want to stand. You cannot put this on the ground with honey and bees on it like you can with lime. It's one of the few things I really prefer lime for. It's a lot easier. You cannot do this to get the bees off because the comb will come off too. So you don't have that. So your better option is, of course, little feather. This looks really nice. Okay. Very cool. You can buy one of these very expensive little devices from Backyard Bees. And what this does is say, okay, bees, fly off and sting him right about here. Or you can use, of course, the hated bee brush. The bees hate this more than anything except my hair when it's pulled back like it is, okay? So use it. This is great for like sugar ants or something. It's really bad for brushing off bees. The best thing that really works is a feather. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to.
Right. Going right to that maple tree, aren't they?
Yeah, oh absolutely. That's the nectar source right now.
I can see them real back.
Yeah.
Yes. Too. So the Langstroth has the bottom board, right? Silver green. But the winter time, you put like a temp bottom board and a little ventilation.
You can if you want to. I have 2 hives that have screen bottom boards and 2 hives that don't, and it hasn't made any difference at all. It does let you slide in a sticky board and do all that kind of jazz. And presumably the mites fall off, but I haven't really seen any difference. The other real issue with this hive is managing the space. If you look through a lot of your comb and you put it back in, you just kind of get it like this. Okay. Now the bees are getting annoyed with you, all right? So you want to close this thing up right away. But every time you look around, you have lots of little bee heads with little bee eyeballs looking up at you. And this is a bee killing machine like no other, okay? And they'll be very angry by the time you do that. So what you have to do is you need to manage this space. As you put each piece of comb back in, you know, you can kind of slide it down like this. You can brush them off with the board. You can kind of bump them a little bit. You know, the little jiggly bit gets them in and things like that. And basically, just make sure the space is matched. Because the other thing that's really nice about this is all these bees think that their home is intact now, unlike those bees over there that know they're screwed. So as you basically manage this space, they basically have a whole house again, and you can then gently push everybody back together to close it up toward the end. Now, you got to be careful with pushing everybody. Particularly, you'll get to the end and you'll say, oh man, I got a little space. I can probably close this up. I just do a little bit of push and go. Be very careful. Yeah. You do probably want to exert pressure to close this up, but you want to be very careful. The other thing you need to watch out for is they will, of course, propolis this entire bar, as you can see. And as you can see, someone has gone through, I think last week is when I was here, and scraped these guys. As you go, if you have a large accumulation of propolis, these will begin to expand a little bit, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. The first thing you know, you won't be able to put the last bar in, and the next thing you know is they will continue to build their comb on bee space, and will begin to get off-center from your bar. So the comb will start here and go down the side, and it's really, really hard to fix that. So you need to manage, make sure that you keep these guys clean so they close up really tight like they should. Yeah. Now you can, when you're getting honey, when you have a big honey flow on, like we very rarely have here in Kitsap County, you can use one of these things. This is the spacer. These are made for my hive. Here, right? But if you look at basically a comb that's basically specifically meant and full of honey, you see it's a little bit wider if you can. And if they are actually filling the comb with honey, you can space this out and put the spacer in. They can make it really, really big. But if you start with these spacers, like when you dump your box of bees in and put all the spacers in and think you're all nice and ready to go, you'll have honey that will begin to get off center. You'll have comb that will begin to get off center. Because if the bars are cut right, they're exactly one bee space with comb 2 sides wide. So be careful with managing the space while you're working in a hive and when it's buttoned up. It really doesn't matter.
And this one too.
If I missed anything. Okay, we talked about that. if you are, you've got a hive, you've got a, okay, you've got the last one, okay, and there's no way around it. You got all sorts of little bee heads sticking out.
When we put that one on there.
And they are not cooperating with the wiggly, wiggly, squishy, squishy thing. There's too many bee heads. I have evolved another method of dealing with this, which is a little faster, and I frequently use it. It's called the bee barrier. It's 5-30 seconds. Cut off the end of a really nice piece of pine. You need a good table saw, or to find something like this in a coffee shop or something.
Totally. Well, listen,
It's labeled so I don't use it for scrap in the shop.
So are you using these with no smoke?
Big party?
You're using smoke at the same time?
I sometimes use smoke. I often use, I have some ornery hives that will come out with smoke or going automatically. I often use just regular water and a sprayer like this. Okay. Because you do this and it starts to be raining on the hive and they get upset and they go down. So it's sort of like quick and dirty smoke. It's not quite as effective, but it's a little easier.
You're so much more sealed here. So.
Yeah. The thing is managing that closure is really important. So anyway, to use this thing, you get it down to about maybe 1/4 of an inch. And again, this is the roll your thumb kind of approach. You want to be able to move it, but you don't want to have a sudden jerk where bees die. And then you basically, so you have about 1 bee width here, and all the little heads are poking out, and you think, yeah,
nothing gives me a
heads
bigger
down
kick.
with the bee.
Because they get this
Then
that does
they
not
can't stick
come
their
with
heads up
time.
because there's not enough space. You can go ahead and close this guy up.
If you let people come into your big
And then pull this guy, and then they can't stick their little heads up in there at all, and go ahead and close it the rest of the way. So that's one way to get around the bee smashing department.
Well, that's why, you know, so many that wear that, right?
Unlike smoke, you know, where you get most of the bees when you're close enough. This, you know, if you don't squish a bee here, squish a bee here, squish a bee here, they begin to figure out that you're a problem, and they'll begin to bother you. And again, it's like we said, listen to your hive, look at what it's doing. It's getting kind of froggy, then maybe it's hungry. You know, it's like these bees by now, they've been screwed with all day long, and they're really beginning to have had enough. Other things to talk about, blah blah blah. Something say you talked about that brace comb, blah. If you're building a hive, put a window in it. Really, make it flush in the back. Make it glass if you can, because you're going to be scraping. Let's see, blah 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 blah.
That's kind of cool to look inside.
Yeah, it's the neatest thing about the hive is you can do a tremendous amount of inspection work without ever having to pop anything in it, and you can do it twice a day. I mean, I look at my hives and I come out in the morning. Usually midnight, 1 o'clock, and I turn the lights off in the shop and go to bed. I'll go and look at them again, because then all the field forces in. You know how big your hive really is, and they're all sort of smushed together. If you break comb, which will ultimately happen, one of the things I keep in my collection here is these guys. 6 pieces of 3 foot long white cotton cord set up so I can basically pull them off with my gloves on and try to fix them. Fixing comb is sort of, if you mess up the brood, you probably ought to fix it. If you knock a little corner off, it's no big deal. Leave it in the hive. Okay? If you have a comb that you cracked, but you didn't really break it all the way, you basically take it out very carefully, take it away from the bees so they're not helping you. Like, take it to the shop or whatever, and put it upside down on a table, put the springs, and then tie it up. You can also use a tongue compressor on the bottom if you want to tension it up. Anything that you can put back in the hive halfway repaired, the bees will fix it in 24 hours. Okay? That's a nice thing. They're very good at fixing things. And if they're really nice, they'll basically take your strings out and throw them out of the hive too. Sometimes it's kind of boring. Yeah. Very organized. Other stuff about the bar.
Yes, I have one. So with your false wall, so you build it out. How far do you plan on moving it? Do you go like about this far in, and then when I start building out?
When I dump bees in, I put maybe 8 bars, and I'll put the false back right here. Because what I want them to do is build their brood nest in the front. If this is the entrance, I want the brood nest here. Because I want them to be mostly making brood here and mostly putting honey here. You will never have the nice separation unless you have a huge nectar flow. And if you have a huge nectar flow, you basically control it bar by bar. When a bar fills up, you pull it out. Bar fills up, you pull it out. It's not going to do production honey for you. You're not going to make a killing for it. But what you can do is you can take them out one by one, and you don't have to basically sacrifice your bag, your sex bees.
Yeah, kind of. You said just kept it up for the brood first.
Yeah.
After it's established, but how far back? Do you just remove it altogether? Do you
What
put,
I'll
like,
what
more
I'll
bars?
do is I'll pretty much put it in the backpack. If they're really going gangbusters, I would say, you have this much room, guys. Really, don't swarm. I mean, please. I'll just put it all the way in the back.
Now the honey on this here, you got strain is going to be.
It's crush and strain. Yeah.
Okay.
There may be ways to centrifugally extract it, but I am not aware of them. You have to go through all the rigmarole. Crush and strain isn't that hard.
No, we got it.
It's really a heck of a lot harder to either buy a centrifugal extractor or go through the rigmarole of getting the clubs, for your eight things of honey, which means you're going to take 2 runs, so I think you take 6 at a time or something. Oh, come on. Honey all over the
Best
side.
get with somebody else and you get the thing in.
Yeah.
Well, I guess now you're mixing honey, but who cares?
It depends on if you care or not. Yeah. Other questions? Other things I can talk about? How to inspect both sides, okay. Comb gets crooked. As they build comb back, if you leave them to their own devices, they will begin to curve it, cross bars. This is why in my kit I always have the knife of destiny, which comb can be adjusted. You cut off the bad parts. You can sometimes, if it's nice and warm, you can straighten comb if there's not much going on with it. What really works is if you have like little backing boards, you can put them again, or like put a comb they're drawing kind of crooked between 2 straight pieces, and they'll square it away. But it's really kind of hard to manage. And some companies you say, oh, that's just too crooked, and then I have to turn it into salve and soap and handles or whatever. Let's see, other things. Swarm and supersede your cells. Drone comb. You will get lots of drone comb in here.
Because they make their own spacing.
They basically, they have control of everything. It is a queen cup here. Obviously, they were thinking about supersedure. Some of this looks big enough to be drone comb here up at the top. They will run 20 to 30% drone comb is what they want. You can cut it out. I have never really done that because I pretty much leave them alone and let them do what they're doing. They raise that many drones for a reason, and I don't know what it is, but they've been at it for 30 million years, and I've only got 5 on them. So I'll let them do what they want to do. Other questions? Okay, well thank you for coming by. Thank you so much for the class. Yeah, cool.
What's going on here?
You got some issues here,
This
you know.
is, this box, and this box are packed full of bees. And so what we decided was to do a walkaway split. So I don't know where the queen is. She's in one of those boxes, and the other ones have brood and larvae and eggs. So we're just gonna give each of these boxes a top and bottom and see what happens in a week. So the queen's in one of them, and the other 2 will make queens.
Or else.
That's what the walk
Or
away
else,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, walk away means exactly what it
Walk
says.
away.
Yep.
Slam them together and walk away.
But that's a lot of bees.
That's a lot of bees, yeah. There's some very healthy, happy hives here.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for
Have a good
coming.
day.
Okay. Oh Jesus, I'm hungry. Who's this man?
Oh my God.
Anything in here? That's really something like that.
That's sugar water. I like it.
Yeah. There's real honey on that top bar. Oh, I think it sort of tastes like sugar.
Yeah, the first one I got was just sugar.
Yeah. Well, it's honey. It's calf.
It helps